Hi, and welcome to an Organized Chaos podcast. I'm Bobby Quarters. Chaos is here with me as well. We just wanted to thank you for watching.
Yes. Hey, Bobby.
And hey, and while you're here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You could follow me on YouTube as well as Chaos and the podcast channel, which all three of those channels will be streaming this very show you're about to watch. All these counselors start dropping dead, left and right. Heinous killings. Turns out, that kid who drowned the year before, his mother came back to that camp and exacted revenge.
People once believed that when someone dies, a crow carries their soul to the land of the dead. Sometimes, the crow could bring that soul back to put the wrong things right.
You're all going to die.
Is that gasoline I smell?
Victims, aren't we all?
Things haven't been okay for months, and I've been blaming you.
You're more of a liability than a hero. Because you refuse to.
Let me go with you, just to watch your back.
Clark?
Get back! This is a national security situation.
No, it is a family situation.
Are you sure you want to do this?
There she is.
You want to break in and steal highly regulated equipment.
This could be our only ticket out of here.
Welcome to the Romulus space station.
This place gives me the creeps.
What the hell is this?
I don't know. Are you alright? No more! No more!
I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Yes, we will do it live, won't we, Bobby? We will do it live.
That just brings me joy every time.
Oh, it's a terrible man having a little fit because probably just some minor thing was wrong. But yeah, he's a dipshit.
It just brings me so much joy.
And hello, Nicholas. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe.
Yes,
and make sure to hit up Bobby Quarters over there.
Yes.
Of course, hit up our Organized Chaos, and then there's a podcast channel as well. Hit up all three. They all need love. They all need love. But we got a solid show today. We're talking about the original Crow from 1994, Superman and Lois. We're talking about the first few episodes of season 2 because we talked about it like, God damn, when season 1 came out, pretty much we talked about it, and then we haven't talked about it since then.
Usually I skip the recap, but this one I was watching. I was like, okay,
yeah, recap.
If you say so, that's what was going on.
That's right. There was like a town, and it was like filling up with Superman people. Okay, that's right. Yeah, there's like.
Oh no, I think there was yeah, that's right. No, there were other weird Superman
Yeah.
power, but like
Yeah.
and now it's a drug. There's some sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
and then we're talking about actually I think that's all we're talking about. We aren't talking about anything new, right? Yeah.
No, I think we're talking about the new 90210 movie.
That's right.
Yeah.
A little revival. It's not the same without Shannon Doherty and Luke Perry. It's just not. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's real. Well, I mean, Luke Perry, he was an Ohio boy.
Yeah.
He was. No, he was. He was.
And then maybe if we have time, maybe we'll talk about the new Alien movie. But listen, guys.
Yeah, that's right.
We got to put caveat on that. We can't guarantee anything, okay?
Maybe. This is kind of like a maybe Matt Damon will join us later situation.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
He might. If
he actually won't. I'm not making that promise because we will talk about Romulus. Yeah, we will talk about Romulus. Damon will never be on this show.
Yeah. But not gonna lie, like I used to respect Matt Damon a lot more until he did the hawking for the cryptocurrency. It was just like, oh, fucker.
Yeah, that one I made like, oh man, I hope you're doing this just to fund a movie. Like a good one, something
it
good.
Better be good.
It better be good.
Yeah. But yes. Should we just dive right in?
Yeah, let's dive into it.
Let's go to
20 years
what I thought
ago, back in time.
30 years ago, actually.
30, Jesus.
The Crow. You know, I remember my friends and I used to semi-regularly go to a goth club. I didn't dress up, but I would enjoy the atmosphere.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. By the way, that reminds me. From the first needle drop in this,
yeah,
I was like, I know why this fucker picked this movie.
Oh yeah, no, there's
just the first one. It's like, God, this is such a great soundtrack.
Yeah. I mean, we get classic tracks from the Cure and 9 Inch Nails.
Like right out of the gate.
Bangers. Yeah.
Right out of the gate, yeah.
But I remember my friends and I used to have an expression going to the goth club. It's like, guys, friends don't let friends go to the club dressed as the Crow. There'd usually always be at least one or two at the goth club. And it's like, well, yes, I mean, we get it. You saw the Crow. You saw the Crow.
Well, everyone wants to look hot. So, and the Crow was super hot.
Yes, Brandon Lee was awesome.
It's like, well, I mean, yeah. And like, that's was like, when we go to Horror Hound, let's count how many crows we see.
I'm sure we'll see a few, even though I would not consider this is a darker movie. I wouldn't consider it horror whatsoever. But
yeah, I mean,
I guess there's a horror element. I never really thought about it. I always thought of it as more of an action revenge thriller. But
it could definitely go horror too.
I guess you could.
I'm just
saying, rethink like, the whole movie.
Somebody's gonna at least have the face paint on one day.
Oh yeah.
That's all.
But this movie definitely had like a cultural impact, pretty much.
And
we haven't even gone into the Brandon stuff. Holy shit!
No, like so there's a pro wrestler named Steve Morton, and for years he was known as Sting, and he would have like kind of like a flash makeup like this, but he took some time away around this time when this movie came out, and he came back about 1996. But he came up with a similar look, like white face paint with black highlights and stuff. And it has been his look consistently since that point because of this movie. Like, inspired this movie. One of his colleagues was like, dude, fucking look at this movie. He is badass in this. This is how you should look.
And Mikael, we covered Inside Out too, like at least a month ago. It was
yeah. It's on it's on the channel under live.
Yeah, I think it's even under mine. I don't think I've membered that yet. But yeah, maybe I have. But it'll be under Bobby's channel, and it will be under Organized Chaos podcast channel for sure.
Yeah. That's what I meant by the podcast channel, not yours.
Oh yeah.
Not your main.
That would be the main. Oh, speaking of which, let's I have to update this a little bit. Damn, there we go. So yeah, this is just a really good movie. I know there are people who love this movie. I just think it's really, really good. Really, really good.
It's good at exactly what it is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it that's very,
yeah.
very much a product of the time, filmmaking wise.
Oh yeah.
There's like lot of that.
Yeah,
and a lot of it I just laugh at because it's just 90s cheesy stuff. Silly.
Yeah, this is a mid 90s movie, and if you try to say it, you watch this and it's like, oh yeah, this is like a modern movie. No, it isn't.
No.
And there's nothing wrong. It's a good mid 90s movie, but it's a
lot of the CGI building top shots, they're pretty bad, but they still look pretty better than a lot of special effects I've seen lately.
Well, I would argue, so there's some obviously shoddy effects, mainly like the healing, like you have the hand in front of him that's healing, that's clearly superimposed pretty jankily. But like you have like the building top where he's sitting on the building top and it's so tiny, where you could almost argue that's kind of like the vibe they're going for more than effects limit. It's actually the effects limit, but like you could go for a vibe thing too.
No, this movie definitely had its own vibe.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely,
Alex Proyas was kind of in his prime when he did this. I think he followed this one up with Dark City. So while I'm not a huge fan of a lot of his later stuff, like this and Dark City are awesome.
Yeah, that is a good one.
That's another very 90s movie, but yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we got Michael Wincott as the main villain. We got Ernie Hudson as the cop who he's Ernie Hudson. He's awesome.
Rarely gives in a bad performance.
Yeah, Tony Todd as like kind of almost a minor role. He's like the supporting guy for the main villain.
I admittedly had to look that up too. I was like, it was near the end. I was like, wait a minute, is that Candyman?
Yeah.
It is Candyman.
That's Worf's brother. What?
No, it's Candyman.
It's Worf's brother.
No, have you seen that movie?
No, actually I haven't. But
okay, that explains it. That's why. That's
have
why.
You seen Worf's brother?
Yes, I have, and that's Candyman. Just
have you seen older James Sisko?
Hey, just how Jeffrey Combs will always be Herbert West.
He's Wayoon. We'll just have to agree to disagree, okay? Listen, no matter what you remember Tony Todd or Jeffrey Combs for that matter, I think we can all agree they're fantastic actors.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. But I guess let's go ahead and tackle kind of the elephant in the room. Brandon Lee. This is his last movie ever.
Yeah.
God damn, there were I remember even up until the 2000s, I remember so many like conspiracy stories over what happened. People talking about, his death scenes in the movie and stuff like that. Now, no, absolutely not. But
it's the same with the Twilight Zone. That theory.
Yeah.
Which that's not an actual movie.
Wikipedia actually has it all pretty much pretty thoroughly documented at this point. I mean, we are 30 years away.
Really? Well,
on March 31st. Yeah, March 31st, 1993, Screen Gem Studios in Wilmington, North Carolina. Lee was filming a scene with his character, Eric, is shot after witnessing the beating and grape of his fiancée. Actor Michael Massey's character, Fun Boy, fires a .44 revolver at Lee as he walks to the room. A scene filmed 2 weeks before Lee had called for the same gun to be shown in close-up. Revolvers often use dummy cartridges fitted with bullets, but no powder or primer. During a close-up, as they look more realistic than blank rounds, which have no bullets, instead the purchasing commercial dummy cartridges. The film prop crew, hampered by time and money constraints, create their own by pulling the bullets from live rounds dumping the powder charge, but not the primer, then reinserting the bullets. So essentially, they wanted a close up of the gun, but the blanks would look fake. So the film crew customized
their own
rounds,
and they still had primer, which is still an active ingredient in
in the fatal scene, which called for the revolver to actually be fired at Lee from a distance of 12 to 15 feet. The dummy cartridges were exchanged for blanks, which featured a live powder charge and primer, but no bullet, thus allowing the gun to be fired without the risk of actual projectile. As production company had sent the firearms specialist home early, responsibility for the guns was given to the prop assistant, who was unaware of the rule for inspecting all firearms before and after any handling. Therefore, the barrel was not checked for obstructions when the time came to load it with the blank rounds. Since the bullet from the dummy round was already trapped in the barrel, a condition known as squib load, this caused a 44 Magnum bullet to be fired out of the barrel with virtually the same force as if the gun had been loaded with a live round. It struck Lee in the abdomen, mortally wounding him. And obviously they shot most of the movie, but
I think it's like all the shots of like the faraway shots of him brooding is the stuff shot with the stand-in.
Yeah, well, there's one scene that stood out, like
pretty much whatever we can't clearly see his face.
Yeah. Well, there was the scene where he goes to visit. I think Sarah's the girl. When he first goes to visit her, she's just walking around the apartment, and then he pops up in the shadow, and then ADR is like, Sarah, and then you just see his shadow like hug her. And I'm like, okay, that was almost certainly filmed after his death. And that scene's almost necessary because there's a scene later in the graveyard where he actually interacts with her. So you need to establish they meet each other, but obviously they couldn't film that scene. So fun fact, his stunt double, who was used as a stand-in, was Chad Stahelski. I'm going to slaughter that name, but do you know who that is?
No.
He is the director for, I think, 3 of the 4 John Wick movies. So he has a huge experience in action for sure. Apparently there was a character from the original comic book called Skull Cowboy, who was originally planned to be a part of the adaptation and even had scenes filmed. He acted as a guide for Eric Draven between the worlds of the dead and living. He was set to be played by Michael Berryman, but as the role was cut for the film after Lee's death.
That would have been good.
No, I read that idea. I'm like, I could see how that works. I could see how.
He would have been so good at that.
Yeah.
I met him at a con once. Super kind dude. So I had this Bob Dylan shirt on at the time, right? And he mentions like, I used to work for Bob, and I was just, it didn't occur to me like what reason or whatever, because he thought he's an actor. Like, why would an actor be working for Bob Dylan? And I asked him like, what'd you do? And he's like, look at me. Would you want to fuck with a guy like me? What do you think? Point taken. Point taken. So you were working for Bob? He's like, yeah. So one time he was sitting out front of a hotel room. Bob was on tour. And as he's sitting out in front of the door, like in the hallway, just on a chair, he comes up and he sees George Harrison, Jeff Lynne, and Tom Petty all together. Yeah, he knocks on the door, and they all had guitars with them. They went in George's room and just played some music for a while. It was like, and it was stuff that was later Woolberries, and I went, okay, that's awesome. Yeah. He told some cool stories about Bob Dylan, though. But nice man. He would have been really awesome.
But it really, like, it occasionally happens with movies, and it just sounds like
that is a shame.
A whole bunch of things. I was reading up on other sites that were talking about how the bullet wound was actually really small because like most of the charge was taken out. So like it wasn't quite a full bullet that hit him, but like he wasn't clearly bleeding or anything. So most of the film crew was just noticing his breathing got really fucked up and he fell differently than he was supposed to. So yeah, it's a fucked up tragedy. Accidents happen at work. It's kind of this, it's that type of thing. But at the end of the day, it's a good movie. I definitely kind of a product of its time, but also pretty influential for its time as well. I mean, if I like, I think most people have seen this movie, but if you haven't, I'd recommend giving it a shot.
Yeah.
It's better than the sequels. I sincerely doubt the new one will be better than this. I hope it's good, but
I don't really think it needs to be made for the sake of being made as the cash grab that it is.
I'm not. You see, I think you could do like a good Crow franchise, and I think with Brandon Lee dying, it threw it off. Because I think you could have built a franchise from this just with Eric Draven, honestly. Instead, they built sequels around remaking the first one that are just terrible.
Yeah, there's that one with what's his name, John Connor.
Yeah,
Edward Furlong.
Is that it? No, it's
Yeah,
not
that is his.
Salvation.
Yeah, that is his name.
It is. No, I want to say it's like Wicked something is his. I don't see it, but yeah, I want to say there's 3 sequels to this. I guess I can't judge them because I haven't seen any of them because they look awful, and I've only heard bad things. So, there's City of Angels was definitely the second one, and then there's Salvation, and then that's gonna drive me nuts. What is the other one?
Genesis?
Yes, that one stars Phil Collins.
No. Like Terminator Genesis.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hold on, it's gonna drive me nuts.
But how many Crow sequels there are?
Well, there's 3. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Wicked Prayer.
Oh God.
Let's see. This one has like cast where it's like I know those names, but what? Yes. So this Wicked Prayer stars Edward Furlong, Tara Reid, and David Boreanaz. Yeah. Cool.
Ooh, Dennis Hopper's in it.
Yay?
He goes by somebody called El Nino. You know what?
Yeah.
Sold. I don't care. Sold.
Yeah.
His name's.
But yeah. Yeah. I guess ready to talk about Superman and Lois?
Yeah, let's get into that.
Yes. So we saw the first 5 episodes of Superman and Lois after like 2 to 3 years between watching season 1, and it's like, well, the series is ending. Let's actually cover the rest of it. I will go ahead and briefly kind of go over my experience going through those 5 episodes. I thought the first one started out pretty strong, and I got a little bored in episode 2 and 3. Then episode 4 picked up. Then episode 5, like when that ended, I was like, I could go for more. that was pretty much my rotation going through this. Yeah.
One started fairly strong.
Yeah.
2 and 3 were very boring. 4 and 5 really delivered. 4 built up and 5 delivered.
Yeah, and we still have a while till that gets us a third of the way through the season.
But we got Bizarro.
Yes. That was cool. Like for a while, we were dealing with Superman and the headaches, and it felt like it maybe took a little bit too long to get Bizarro. But like when we get to Bizarro, it feels like it's dragging a little bit as to what exactly Bizarro is and the threat he is. I would say the series really picks up. It might be the end of season 3 or the episode 3, where I'm pretty sure Bizarro starts killing the other Supermen that are working for the government. The artificially created Supermen. That are made with that.
Yeah, when they introduced
from season 1.
When they introduced that theory, I go, well, this just seems like a brilliant idea. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's
But it's at that point where it starts picking up, and
Silly government.
and then I'm not gonna lie, there's an episode you'll probably remember. So the episode where there's this cult that Lois Lane's sister got a part of, and Lois Lane wrote an expose of it, and her sister hasn't really forgiven her for that. And then she's having a conversation with her sister that's being recorded, and the conversation involves essentially the sister saying, you know, that cult took me to another world, and you wouldn't report it. You never talked about that. And I remember watching this going, yeah, why would she? You're obviously not all there. I don't see how this is relevant. And then like the other reporter sees this footage and is just like offended that Lois never told her about it. I'm like, okay, am I missing something? And I guess I kind of was, because the next episode kind of explains, yeah, because it's a world with superpowers, that type of thing is maybe possible. And I'm like, oh, I feel like they could have explained it in that one episode maybe a bit stronger, because I was just getting really annoyed with everybody. I was like, why would she report that? Yes, they were fucking with her mind. But yes, this is a superhero world, so I guess, okay, I can see where your argument's coming from. That being said, the cult leader still seems like a cult leader and a crazy bitch. And
Absolutely.
that does not get better.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it does get frustrating, although we don't get as much of General Lane. I don't remember his first name. Why am I brain farting? But Lois's father. He is out retired on the worst blue screen lake I've ever seen in my life. But
what about that golf course?
Yeah, there's a couple.
How about that AstroTurf?
Really bad.
How about that AstroTurf?
There's a couple blue screens here where I'm like, okay, I understand it's a CW show, it's limited, but there's a couple where I'm like, ooh, like, really?
CW, y'all didn't have a golf course nearby that you could take that actor and a cameraman.
Yeah. It's like, I understand needing a contained environment, but can't make that look any better? Really?
They're based in what, Georgia? You're telling me there wasn't a golf course that was open?
Yeah. But yeah, ignoring that, there's also the subplot of Lana Lang running for mayor, which I think is interesting. Although I thought it was kind of predictable when the one guy dropped out. It's like, okay, Lana's going to run. And then it took a little bit to get to it. I understand it's a series, so they're filling it out a bit. But it's like, yeah, we know what's going on.
Found out her husband's cheating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for me, kind of the weakest storyline of the three, because you have Bizarro and Superman trying to figure out not trusting the military because the Lois's father's retired, so he's not the point man. And even when he was the point man, he wasn't super trustworthy. Let's be real.
Yeah.
He was a little sus, but just family.
But out of all the government that Clark, without all the government that Clark dealt with, he was the most trustworthy.
Yes. And then, I mean, there's also the element, and I'm sure there's lots of people who love this. So, like, there's always the expression of how Superman, he fights for truth, justice, in the American way. Well, I mean, I feel like this version is making sure to establish, no, he's not fighting for the American way. He's just fighting for humans in general. He's fighting for planet Earth. Because that's the one thing. The guy's like, you should work with us. And he's like, but you guys want me to pledge my allegiance to the United States? And he's like, yeah. And it's like, well, I work for the world, not the United States. I'm not doing that. Which is like, okay, I get that.
Like how he saved the North Korean sub.
Yeah, he saved the North Korean sub. They're like, you can't save North Korean sub. It's like, they need my help. They're gonna die.
well, you could have at least dropped it somewhere friendly. Like, no, I took it back to North Korea. Like,
yeah. I'm not here to play political games. I'm just here to help people when they need it.
I'm not here to interfere with your affairs. Just.
But anyways, yeah. There's the Bizarro and the military storyline, and then there's the cult storyline with Lois and her sister, and then there's the Lana storyline. And between the three, the one that was interesting me the least was actually the cult and Lois's sister. That being said, by the time we get to the end of the 5th episode, that one's engaging me a lot more because, god damn, like I knew that cult leader was sus as fuck, but apparently she's got, I don't know if she has superpowers, but like Apparently she's conquered the world Bizarro's from, and yeah, he doesn't trust her and is trying to stop her. And it's like, what the fuck?
And the boys have a storyline too.
Oh yes, that's right. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
So
John.
Yeah, mainly Jordan's got a little bit of a storyline mainly with his girlfriend and dealing with the fact that she hooked up with somebody over summer, but like she's not committed. It was just a fling, and she's sorry type deal.
And he's wondering whether or not he should tell her that, hey, I'm Superboy.
Yeah.
But they're dealing with some issues.
But
John,
John's,
however, is
John's dealing with the fact that he's the son without superpowers, but there's this drug going around that will kind of give you superpowers temporarily. And his not his sister, fuck, his girlfriend is a dealer.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh well, can I have some? And then so his brothers knows that, or Jordan's knows that John seems to have powers, and he's like, oh my god, you have powers too? And he's like, yeah, it's nothing. Please don't tell anybody. Because he doesn't want to tell anybody. He's just taking drugs essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say at this point, even though it drug for a little bit in the middle, I'm excited to see what the next episode goes to. So I'd say overall I'm enjoying this.
Happy to get back into it. Yeah.
Yes.
Not that bad. Yeah.
Yeah. What I appreciate about this series was that this is a stage in Superman's life that they almost never cover. This is after all the adventures in Metropolis and all that other stuff.
After he's beaten the older.
Yeah.
After he's killed Lex Luthor, pretty much.
This is him when he's older and he's moved back to Smallville to be at the family farm and
after
raises
kids. After he had enough with Lex Luthor and just ripped him in half.
Famously, as Superman just went, his intestines just squirted all over the place, as Superman famously does.
And every single rich villain was like, "Yo, I'm good.
We're good.
Point made."
I guess it kind of sums up
everything. What episode? Yeah. What episode was that where he saved the North Korean sub? That was
I want to say episode 2, maybe
2 or 3. Yeah.
I know it was one of the more exciting parts during the episodes that were kind of like to me. Oh, that's right. He he does dealing with this shit where he's seeing visions of Bizarro and it's freaking him out, and he kind of had to blast the lasers into his eyes almost as a release. Which if I remember correctly, we saw that a bit in season 1, how that can be kind of like a release of energy if he needs it. It's an interesting thing to explore. Yeah. But yeah, I am enjoying this season. I want to see where it goes next.
I am too.
Anything you want to add, Bobby?
No. It was happy to get into it. It felt I was worried at jumping back into a series that we haven't really been.
Yeah, I was concerned I'd have to rewatch season 1. I'm like, I don't know if I have time to rewatch season 1, but I'm like, I'm comfortable enough. Yeah,
I'm gonna just see if I could find a recap, and I found one.
Yeah.
Kind of helped it. And then I kind of went for one of those more season 1 explained. Yeah, explain some stuff because I need to remember where we were with this.
Yeah.
But even with the recap the show provided, it was like, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, they'll bring up stuff in the episode, and I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen, didn't it?
That's right.
But I guess I don't know. Do we have time for this one?
We might.
Okay. No. I don't know if anybody cares about this one.
No. It's getting review bombed. So
yeah.
It's bombing too. It's doing worse than Borderlands.
Oh yes, it's a complete bomb.
It's going straight to streaming. That's like
it's bombing so bad that's the first movie to take over the #1 spot since Deadpool and Wolverine was released. What a bomb!
Yeah, this I enjoyed this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say I did enjoy what they tried to do with this.
Mm-hmm.
The direction that they took.
If you've seen the podcast, pretty much I love Alien 1 and 2, Alien 3 and 4, I'm not so hot on. I kind of
agree.
respect 3, what it was going for, but like it kind of drags. And then 4, I don't know what the fuck. And then I don't like the Alien versus Predator movies. Prometheus and Covenant are movies I kind of defend, even though I think there's definitely dumb stuff in them. I kind of am down for like whatever weird stuff Ridley Scott wants to do with those movies. I won't be
Yeah.
down for more of them. I don't think they're as good as the original 2.
No.
And now we get to Romulus.
Now,
Romulus. Yeah, go ahead.
there's
Bobby.
something that this did very well that I feel
Mhm.
Prometheus and Covenant didn't do well.
I feel the same way. I wonder if we're talking about the same thing though.
The aesthetic
Mm-hmm.
to it,
Yeah.
even the look of the ship, the look of the uniforms,
Mm-hmm.
it felt like a time previous,
Yeah.
or like
Absolutely.
within that. Yeah. As opposed to Prometheus, which looks like it looks more futuristic, but it's
Mhm.
set further back in time. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's my one complaint with those two. But with Romulus, the atmosphere that they set in this film right in the beginning, I loved, and I
Mhm.
felt it was building up on terror and suspense a lot like the original.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah,
Really good. Yeah.
I was going to say the one thing I think this movie does a lot better than Prometheus and Covenant, tension. I was actually concerned for the characters for a lot of this. I'm not going to lie, like as much as I appreciate what Ridley Scott's doing with Prometheus and Covenant, the characters for the most part I thought were kind of dumb, with maybe a couple of exceptions. I didn't really connect with any of them. Here, I don't know. I kind of liked a lot of the characters, and I will tell you the standout immediately is David Johnson's Andy.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That was
The lead too. I really enjoyed
yeah,
her.
I thought
too.
she was solid as well. Yeah, I want her to survive. Oh,
And her boyfriend's brother. I couldn't wait for him to die.
yeah,
Man,
yeah,
we
I
had to
was
wait
waiting
for
him
that
to
one.
die.
We had to wait
That
for
was a
that
hell
one.
of a death, though. That was a hell of a death, though.
We'll get to it. We'll get to the wall minge, but
Yeah. I mean, the story is set up like we have these essentially minors. Minors. Yeah, not well. I mean, I guess they're kind of teenagers, but like
they're teenagers. Yeah.
They're on a colony planet. They're mining stuff. We have Rain, who is our main character. She has this old android, Andy, who doesn't function great, but like he is there to support her. He was put together by her dad. And he hangs out with her and he helps her out. I like their relationship so much. That is awesome. But essentially, she does all the work she needs to essentially get her freedom and get off the colony and move, get somewhere else.
Yeah.
So she goes to essentially cash in her hours, and they go to tell her, "Oh, we're sorry, your hours. We've added more hours, so you can't leave yet. You got 5 to 6 more years here." So, yay, Wayland Yutani.
They're a great company, and they know.
Yes, they're definitely not
with us.
They're definitely not the real villains of this franchise.
I'll admit, this movie is the first time I ever noticed the logo.
Yeah.
Like their slogan.
Yeah.
First time I've ever noticed the slogan.
What is the slogan? I don't remember that.
Building a better world together.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Something like that. And I remember just reading it, and it was after that scene. I just laughed out loud in the theater. Inappropriate time, but
then, she comes across a group of other kids who are essentially like, hey, we have this plan we have a ship, but we don't have the cryo units for long-term travel.
We found this floating abandoned Wayland Yutani ship above our planet. We're gonna go up and take it over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they're gonna go get they're gonna get the cryo units so they can do long-term travel in their kind of janky ship. But yeah, obviously, like it's an abandoned space station. Why is it abandoned?
It's decommissioned.
Took it over. Yeah, it's just decommissioned. I don't know why I'm talking about. No, it's decommissioned. They forgot about it.
I'll say this is the first of the brilliant decisions that humans made in this movie. First of the brilliant decisions the humans made.
Yeah, so they go up to get the cryo units, and it's like obviously they find the cryo units and they grab them and they go back. Oh wait, no wait, they're low on energy, so we have to go to this room that
Get
has
some power cells
the
for 'em.
energy, the power cells that just so
Yeah.
happen to have a whole bunch of the alien. It's not alien eggs, but like they're these
They're face
sacks
hugger
of the
embryos.
face huggers. Yeah,
They're walls
they're
of
just
them.
stored in
Like,
there. Yeah.
and at first, at this point, I thought, okay, is this a connection to Covenant right now? Like, is this like what the hell? There's There's walls of these on embryos. Like, why are there more? Why are there multiple? Why are we growing them in this room? Like, yeah. So that whole sequence of them in the water being like that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean
Awesome.
that's the thing. So this is the first movie to actually kind of have fun with the face huggers.
Yeah.
So you have the scene in the first scene in the water where they're just hiding out in the water, jumping around. I was watching that scene thinking it would get a whole bunch of them. It only got one, and one of them that wasn't even in the room, which kind of surprised me. It's like, whoa, shit, she got it. Whoa.
Yeah.
By the way, we are spoiling this, so
yeah, the spoilers have started. So
yeah, it's if you're looking for a recommendation, give it. Especially if you like the Alien franchise, give this one a shot. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's not amazing. It's not as good as the first two, but it's pretty good.
It's better. It's better than 3, and not as bad as Resurrection.
Yay!
But it's not better than 2 or 1.
No,
it literally is mid.
Yeah. But there's the other great facehugger scene where like the facehuggers like don't have eyes; they're just pure like sensory creatures. But they're in this hallway area they need to get through, and so essentially, Andy's like, okay, so what should work? By the way, Andy has been upgraded with a different android's
yes, half of an android that they find.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to talk about that.
Yeah, we do need to talk about the other android. So they find an android that's all fucked up from alien acid.
Who's about half.
At first, they assume it's down.
He's been halved.
Yeah.
And next to this,
as soon as they assume he's decommissioned, then he grabs him suddenly behind the back.
No, Bob. First, there was this halved android next to a giant melted hole in this space thing. So that's how he was half. There were no legs anywhere, at least none that I remember seeing. Now, this is something that it was a good idea, terrible execution.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Times. I love the idea of it, but they could have just kept it from that far shot of him in the shadows.
Yeah, they need to do it better, and I've seen it done better years ago. I mean, it still drives me nuts when they mess up this, and like Ant-Man was like 9 years ago. It's like that looked way better. What are we doing? So this android, and I kind of wondered it'd be something like this because I noticed that like the android was moving. It was obviously saying something. I'm like, is that gonna be like an Ash android? And the android's name is Rook, and yes, and
then it started
it's a CGI.
talking,
Yeah,
and then it was
it's a CGI Ian Holm, and it's not the best effects.
It's
I will say
it's very cool.
It looks better than Jeff Bridges in Tron Legacy.
Now there's times
12 years ago. No.
There's some shots and some times when it looks
fine.
Really good.
Yeah.
Other times it looks really bad. There's more really bad times than really good shots. That's what.
And I was shocked considering how not amazing it looked. I was shocked how many close-ups of his face they did.
Of the bad, and those are the bad ones.
Yeah, it's like okay, maybe avoid those.
Oh,
and like there's even stuff on the modder where they do a close-up of his face on the modder. It's like on a modder you could maybe add some interference so you can't quite tell as much, but no,
it's not as bad. But I just know it's there. I know it's there now. Yeah. So that's yeah. It was a cool idea what they did with it, but when they stole that and that half android's chip, that also upgraded Andy. So Andy was
Yeah.
now kind of almost a super android
Mhm.
synthetic.
Mhm. With questionable allegiances, because once he got that upgrade, yeah, he was much more knowledgeable. He was much more helpful. He didn't seem to be malfunctioning, but he said, "Hey, before my primary directive was to protect Rain, who was essentially kind of like his sister. Now he's like my primary function is to do what's best for the company." That's not sus. Cool.
No.
But But yeah, there's this great scene where they have to go through this hallway and they raise the body temperatures so that the creatures won't be able to sense it. So they raise the temperature in the room to 98.6 degrees to match them. Then Andy's like, yeah, so don't sweat, don't get tense, just be as quiet as possible. And they're able to get most of the way through the room. Obviously, it gets to a point right at the last minute where they just have to make a dash for it. But yeah, I appreciate them actually doing something with the facehuggers rather than just having them jump on them immediately. Just having some fun with that creature. Very cool. And then there's also the one scene that, the scene where there's an alien like sitting like, so essentially they get to the other side of the hallway because they need to get to the ship.
Yeah.
And then there's a crew member on the ship, but unfortunately there's also an alien in the ship. They're like, we need to open the door and get her over here so the alien can't get her. But they can clearly see an alien just back there, sitting, waiting for the door to open. And Andy's like, I'm not opening that door. And they're like, but you have to open it so we can get her out quickly.
I'm kind of with Andy on that one, though.
Yeah,
I'm
no, it's
kinda
one of
with-
those things. It's just like in the first Alien, we're really saying no, don't open the door. It's I'm with Andy on that one. That
Yeah.
alien is obviously chilling and waiting for you to open the door so he can just jump through and get all of you guys.
Yeah, it's hunting. It's hunting.
Yeah. The alien's like, ooh, if I wait a few moments, I can get all you guys. And it only attacks once it's clear they're not going to open the door. And it does attack the one woman, although she survives for quite a bit longer.
The pregnant lady.
We will have quite a bit to say about the ending too. But
the pregnant lady, the one
Yes.
who they said was pregnant, and
Yes,
it's important
yes.
that we say that
yes, because as we dive in,
because
one of the-
we see like the tail get her,
Yeah.
and get pulled away.
Mhm.
So we presume she's dead
yeah,
because
But
that's
she's-
that alien people die off screen like that in alien movies all the time.
mhm. yes. But so, anyways, the survivors were working their way a bit further down to the ship. They hear crying, and then the one dude is like, "Oh my god, it's her!" And it's like, yeah, maybe no, but yeah, of course he doesn't think about it. He just dives after her. So they're all going after her.
Going after him, going after her. Yeah.
Yes, and yeah, so she's all strapped up in the alien embryo thing, and Andy points out there isn't actually an alien carcass next to her. There isn't a face hugger next to her, so there's a chance she's not been impregnated. And they also encounter, I think we've jumped ahead. I jumped ahead a little bit because I think before this they encounter what Weyland Yutani uses the aliens for, and it's like this new serum to upgrade humans and make them
Series X001 or something like that. Yeah.
And we see them experiment with it with a rat, where a rat is like dead, but then it gets injected, and all of a sudden it's alive and well. And then they turn away, and the camera keeps on playing for the audience, where we see the rat explode, and it's like, okay, maybe this isn't great.
But we don't get to see what this is until the next shot, which it's a black goop. Which,
but yeah,
we're back to the goop again.
Yeah, it's a special serum. Yeah, I wonder if it's supposed to be that's got to
Synthetic,
be a reference to Prometheus, right?
It's probably a synthetic version of it because I remember they mentioned Prometheus in
Yes, they do.
dialogue talking about it. So I think it's either a synthetic version of it or the real McCoy. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
But anyways, Andy's primary objective is to get this goop off the station now. But anyways, the Andy gets injured. Everybody like the two women get away. Andy gets injured. The one pregnant lady who they just rescued from the alien breeding area is injured, but essentially Rain gives her the goop, says, you gotta work your way to your ship by yourself. I'm not leaving Andy. And then so she goes back, gets Andy, takes the corporation drive from him. So now he's just a dude, back to his old self, kind of. And yeah, so they're running back. And oh yes, and we gotta talk about that one scene as they're getting back. So like they have these special guns with an auto sight, so she doesn't have to be a good marksman, and she can just gun down a whole bunch of aliens. But they're on the bottom floor. So if acid gets on the floor, it will just instantly hit the vacuum of space and they're dead. So what she does is she knocks out the gravity, and then she shoots a whole bunch of aliens, and then she has to drift through gravity with through alien blood, weaving her way through that, which I thought was kind of cool idea. They do more of the alien blood, I feel, in this one than they traditionally do in these movies as well.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Like, go ahead, Bob.
I liked this. I thought it was a decent use of CGI.
Yeah.
But like the whole time, I'm just like, what the hell are you gonna do when all that shit just gets together? Then, like, what the fuck are you gonna do then?
Well, I mean, we kind of see it burst through the station.
Oh yeah,
it just tears it up. But yeah, so she just threw. It's a pretty cool scene, and that's one of the things. Like, as I'm going over this, what I like about this movie, and we'll get to the ending because there's stuff to say about the ending, but the vibe off this movie is that I like the tension. I like the creative use of the aliens. This movie isn't going for anything more, which, okay. There's something to be said for that, because I feel like what Prometheus and Covenant were going for something more. I don't know if it quite hit those things, but like I appreciate the effort. This one's not going for anything more, just going for like alien horror movie.
It's just playing the hits.
Shit. Yeah,
it's playing the hits.
There's a couple hits I don't feel are quite appropriate. Andy's saying, "Get away from her, you bitch," doesn't feel
That's
quite
the exact
right.
thing that I felt was completely pointless.
Yeah.
Why was
well,
that?
keep in mind that's in there, and this is supposed to take place like 40 years before the second Alien. So
I know.
What, did she get it from him? What?
Or did she just get angry and just an in the moment thing? And
yeah, that felt really forced. There's a couple of references I think are fine, but that one felt really forced.
That one felt really forced and bad. Yeah, I laughed out loud at it.
It's like, really?
Yeah.
But anyways, pregnant lady.
Yeah.
She's injured. She needs to get back to the ship. So to help herself out, she injects herself with the goop.
Well,
which always ends well.
Not Ash suggests that, saying that it will heal her and help her.
Yeah, but they don't. But she does it on her own. I mean, and then but then she gets back to the ship. Ash says, "Hey, go, run away. Everybody else is dead." And she's like, "No, I'm gonna give him some time." And then they come by, and Ash's like, "Oh, thank God you are all alive. Now get away." Very genuine. I completely believe him. But anyways, so they all go into the stasis pods and they get away happily ever after.
Oh no, that's not.
Oh crap! It's an alien movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the greatest hits, guys. There's always a twist after everything's safe.
And this one is just one that got actually
interesting.
A couple of laughs out of my showing.
Real quick, this is kind of almost a variation on the ending of Resurrection, very much so. For better and worse.
It looks better than it did in Resurrection. But it doesn't look anywhere near as scary.
In Resurrection, if you remember the ending, the alien essentially is giving birth. The alien mother is like on its back with a big old human pregnancy belly, giving birth to an alien human hybrid. In this one, we get a human who's been injected with that goop, and her baby is now an alien human hybrid.
But it kind of has the face of an engineer.
Yes. Yeah, it kind of does. It's an interesting look, like a pin face. I'm trying to think of a good way to describe it, but it's
It looks like a half
yeah.
human, half xenomorph, half engineer.
Whereas
Because
like
that shot of it in the
Resurrection,
egg, and it was
yeah.
falling down, and we just saw the face. I was like, "Is that a fucking engineer?" And then it didn't really look like it after that.
Yeah, I doubt there's photos of it because they probably don't want too much of it going out. But it's an interesting choice. It looks like a horror movie monster, like like you'd expect that for Alien. But yeah, it looks like it's almost a human, but like super pale, evil looking face. I think engineer is probably the best way to describe it.
Oh, that last one was cool.
That is a cool poster.
The one before it. Yeah, that's cool. That one's cool too.
There's a couple cool ones. Yeah.
I didn't get the collective bucket. They didn't have them for Alien when I went.
I didn't get it either, but yeah, unless it's on dirt cheap sale, I don't usually get it, and these are just behind the scenes, so it's not super helpful. Yeah, but yeah, this one definitely has more of a human look than the one from Resurrection, which is almost kind of a skeletal look. I will say this one looks creepier. But I don't know. It's kind of the same vibes I get off Resurrection. I'm kind of
well, yeah.
I don't know if this quite works for me. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah. Now the deaths in this are surprised. They earn that R rating,
dude. So when the one dude is just pretty much having alien blood on him.
Yeah.
There
was that giant like wall vagina thing with the spike that killed the one asshole guy. That was just this like scorpion stinger just came up. It just roll. Oh yeah, no. No.
Yeah, the deaths in here are fairly noteworthy. Well done.
The chest burster scene was really good too, because like they focused on the sound of the rib cage, and I went to like the Dolby Digital like experience theater. Yeah, so like just that was all like, well, that's unsettling.
Yes,
that's just
it's a good. It's a good movie. It's not amazing.
It's a good Alien movie.
But
yeah, absolutely.
I didn't think it was funny. So watching the trailer for this, one of the things it says in the trailer is from the director of Evil Dead, and all I could think at that point was, oh, it's not Sam Raimi. But now I really, really want an Alien movie directed by Sam Raimi. Oh man, it's
man.
It's Fede Alvarez Fede Alvarez. I'm slaughtering, I'm sure, but they directed the Evil Dead remake, which, by the way, I think is underrated. I think it's
the Cabin in the Woods one, or the High Rise one.
The High Rise. Oh, the Cabin in the Woods one, where essentially you had the woman taking over the astral, which I was thinking I would hate that one. I watched it. I was like, well, this is decent.
Yeah, I kind of thought I would hate it too.
Yeah, and it's not bad.
Really enjoyed
honestly,
it. Like
I will be honest, when we're dealing with horror franchises, Evil Dead track record is not remotely bad at all.
No, the show is phenomenal too. Like
yeah. No, I think I've seen all of it now I think about it. And it's all like
it's a shame.
It's all good.
It's a shame it couldn't continue. I mean,
yeah.
Ash is gonna return, or Bruce is gonna return to play Ash in a cartoon version.
Cartoon?
I'm all about that.
If it's an R-rated cartoon, fuck yeah.
Oh my god, yes.
But yeah. This is good.
This is good.
Yeah.
The goofy, even with the goofy ass human alien.
Yes. I was more forgiving of this than I was in Resurrection, because this one was actually followed a movie that I overall enjoyed and was actually involved with.
And it followed the trope of it too, of it always evolving. So with that aspect of it, I'm cool because that fits with the lore. I still don't know why David had to say, "Get away from her, you bitch." That's really my only complaint.
Or Andy, yeah.
That
one is the most like,
No, like when he jumped and landed, I go, "Oh no, he's not." It's like, "Get away from her." Oh god damn it. Don't you fucking say it.
Although, I mean, you are bringing up David, and I will say that is one thing with Prometheus and Covenant that kind of drove me nuts. As much as I love Michael Fassbender as an actor, his sus android David was kind of annoying. I was just like, guys, are you not suspicious of him at all?
I don't like that they left that whole thing just open.
Yeah.
That's the most.
David's alive and well, according to the franchise right now.
Unnerving part for me.
Mhm.
Like,
who knows? But yeah,
and it could even be taken back to like why AI is bad.
Mhm. So I would say if you watched if your big issue with Prometheus and Covenant was that like you didn't feel it was intense enough or graphic enough, then Romulus is exactly the movie you're looking for. I'd put it probably in the same range as those ones, where it's like it's not amazing, but it's an entertaining, good time.
Yeah, and their use of practical effects in this too was impressive.
Yeah,
like, I can tell when
can
the
get
CGI,
spotty, but yeah, the
but
practical was excellent.
The face huggers were all like remote mostly, which was
you could tell, but I was
awesome.
down for it. Yeah,
I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah. Let's see. So I think that is actually it for this week.
Yeah.
And I
hold on
that's
here.
right. I took down the schedules because I was sharing screen.
Savage
I won't
Carnage.
want people see our behind the scenes documents.
Hey guys, will you ever do a review of a movie in the future? What movie you want in the future?
Yeah, I'm a little confused. Yes, we do movies. We do review stuff.
Yeah, something you'd want?
Yeah, you're welcome.
Because we told you some that, like, if you bust into his super chat, like, we will watch them. We need to determine the ones that are.
But right now on the agenda, we're looking at the new Crow. We'll see how that works out. The original Beetlejuice, and we're gonna do some more Superman and Lois season 2. And that's the plan for next week. Let's see. I'll see if Mikael has an actual request. Do a review of a movie in the future. That's too general. Yes, we will do reviews of movies in the future.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and sign out.
Yeah.
Guys, requests can go in the comments. So
yes. Take care.
We got Initiative this Wednesday. We got my solo stream on Thursday, and then also solo stream on Saturday. I got comic book polls up in my community tab if you vote for the comic book you want me to cover. But other than that, guys, party on and be excellent to each other.
Take it easy.
Like and subscribe.